And we're live. It's Whiskey Watches and Wheels, the #1 podcast in Savannah, Georgia. Folks, how are we doing this evening?
Doing well.
Doing great.
Awesome. Well, I am the phenomenal Matt Green, and I have a wonderful menagerie of friends here that's going to rock your socks off tonight. Everyone, introduce yourselves.
I'm Casey.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Savannah.
Look at that. So for those listening, James is not with us tonight. I don't know. He had something better to do than hang out with us. So we have replaced him with a much, well, let's just say we have an upgrade. All right. He's been upgraded, and we have the phenomenal Savannah with us. Savannah, who are you?
The twinkle in Kevin's eyes.
Yes, this is Savannah is Kevin's daughter. You can tell she definitely got her looks from her mother and not her father. So, well, we are happy to have you. It's always nice. You know, three of us can muddle along, but when there's a fourth one, it just gives some extra banter. So
an extra person that knows nothing. It's great.
Well, listen, honestly, she probably knows more than we do.
Well, that might be true. So maybe it's actually be a factual show. Probably not.
Absolutely. She actually, so unlike you, she actually has notes.
Oh, that is interesting.
Do you have notes? See, she comes prepared.
I'm very prepared mentally.
See, I always have notes. But
Notes?
Yeah.
Listen, I'll have the hot takes, and I don't need any fucking notes.
Okay. Casey, it's what we expect and what we love. All right, we mean that with all the love in our heart.
Off the cuff.
So, let's do our wristwatch check and what everyone's drinking. At least I know 2 of 4 of us is drinking some stuff. So who wants to get started with watch their work on tonight?
I'll start just because I've got a redo. I think I wore this just a couple weeks ago, but the SKX 033.
It's beautiful though.
Malaysian. It doesn't look black in this picture because it's not. It's the Pepsi. So big fan of this one. Super simple. Because it has some wear and tear on it. It's a 1999 model. I feel like I can wear it daily and not worry about bashing it into random things and feeling bad. So it gets a fair amount of wrist time.
Awesome. Who's next?
I'll go next. So today I am wearing a Seiko World Time Date Automatic, model number 6117-640. It's from February 1972, 41 millimeter case, steel back. I just got it serviced, so it is running like a top. Great watch. Don't wear it too much, but like I said before, I'm going to try to wear a different watch each week because I do have enough of them. So that's what I'm wearing today.
I like that one.
Cool. Here, I'll go next. We'll save Savannah for last. So for me, I am wearing hold on a second here. Why can't I share my screen? It says someone else is currently sharing. Interesting. All right, so I guess I'm not sharing my screen tonight. All right, so I am wearing let's take it off and do this. I'm wearing my Tag Heuer.
Nice.
Aqua Racer. Listen, it's an Aqua Racer. It's a chronograph. I love it. It's chunky. It's beefy. It does everything it needs to do. 43 millimeter case, 300 meter water resistance, ceramic bezel. It's got their caliber 16 movement, sapphire crystal, screw down crown. It's everything you expect from a Tag Heuer.
Nice. Love that.
So,
Was that a gift watch or like what do you call it?
A milestone watch?
Milestone,
It was a
thank
milestone
you.
watch.
Yeah, what was that?
I got this like 5 years ago for our 20-year wedding anniversary.
Nice.
Yep.
That's cute.
Yeah, how about that?
Almost as old as I am.
There you go.
I'll go next. I have got my Cartier Tank Française watch and my watch tan line as well. The reference number is WSTA0074. The case dimensions is 32 millimeter by 27 millimeter. And then this was a milestone watch as well for graduating college. And it's got a sapphire crystal crown, which is my birthstone.
Nice.
So yeah, I really like it.
Sweet. I love it.
That was good for you to go last. Something you're used to.
Yeah. Cool. What's everyone drinking? You guys drinking anything special tonight?
Yeah, go Savannah. You got something good in the background.
Okay, so I have Sazerac Rye. I got this for, I think, my birthday one year. I was told that it was by the same company that makes Buffalo Trace. Maybe Casey can confirm that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my favorite bourbon. And I don't like rye, so they're like, well, try this one. Maybe you'll like it. And it is pretty good. And on my note sheet that I typed up, because I'm prepared, the aroma is clove with sweet vanilla and pepper, and flavor is crisp citrus. I think it just tastes like whiskey.
Fair enough.
Yeah, pretty good.
So it tastes like ethanol. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Savannah is one of the when Savannah was drinking, she could go into any bar and order old fashions, and she never got carded because they were like, well, I guess if she's drinking whiskey or bourbon,
she's old enough.
No joke.
And she wasn't drinking, orange juice and vodka. So, yeah, and not too many people, I think, her age or women drink bourbon, but we've been drinking it for quite a while. She doesn't like Jack though. Do you?
She's better than I am because I can't. I'm not saying that I won't eventually develop a taste for it, but not a fan. Not necessarily a fan.
Saz is a good starter. It's a very low proof, and it's pretty. The flavor profile of it's really nice, but it is fantastic in an old fashioned. And you got to be careful not to put too much simple syrup in there because it's a lower proof rye, so it'll take it over. But it's great. It's a New Orleans staple, obviously, and they have the Saz drink down there. That's not an old fashioned, a little different, but it's very good. And for a while, because of the Buffalo Trace hoarding that goes on, it was very hard to get, at least up here in Virginia, even though it's like a $20 bottle or something. It's a very cheap bottle, but it's good stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, I could definitely see how it's good in the Sazerac drink, because me and my dad took a class on how to make cocktails, and Sazerac was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Tastes pretty similar without all the extra ingredients that goes into the actual cocktail.
Yep. And the I don't think the bartenders mind making it when you're down there in New Orleans, as compared to an old fashioned where they have to work for it a little bit more. The Saz is super simple. So anyway, I've got I'm doing a bourbon and ginger, but bourbon is kind of standard run of the mill. Oh my goodness, Four Roses small batch.
Okay.
So just a generic bottle that you can get everywhere. Good daily pour, and some Canadian dry ginger ale. One of my good.
So I think I could probably do that. When we were doing that bourbon tasting, and we were doing it straight, I couldn't do it. But then when we added the water, it made it a little bit more palatable.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was mixing it with ginger or whatever, then I probably would be fine.
Well, and I would encourage you to do that if you wish to develop a taste for it. But diet ginger ale, I recommend over standard ginger ale, at least Canadian dry, or what's the other one that's really popular?
Seagram's?
Yeah. Because I think, either one of those, because I think the sugar will really take over. But if you can find like a small batch ginger ale that's like a local made, that's like super, super spicy gingery, that is the best. That's awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Speaking of spicy,
I'm. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got Diet Dr. Pepper, so that's about as spicy as I'm getting tonight. So there you go.
I do like that Four Roses. Savannah and I drink the Four Roses Yellow Label in St. Augustine quite often, and it's kind of one of the bars that we go to is their house bourbon, and they always try to do like the higher end Four Roses.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do a Excel spreadsheet on a lot of the old fashions, but it just got tedious because a lot of them were. We would take so many points off for ice cubes and not a gentleman's cube or the wrong cherry. And then you really couldn't, get the flavor. So, and like we've talked about before, so many places, they don't have a huge selection of bourbon unless you're going to a bourbon bar. And that's something that most cities don't have. So
Sure.
I am drinking. Go ahead, Casey.
No, you finish.
I'm drinking Celsius Sparkling Wildberry and Taco Bell. I don't know what this is. Serum.
Live Moss.
There you go.
Sparky.
That's it.
That's Celsius. I'm kind of addicted to it. That one, Wildberry one's good. I just ordered some from Amazon today because it's way cheaper than buying it in the gas station or a convenience store or whatever. It's like half price.
And a lot cheaper. I drink Red Bull a lot, and a lot cheaper than Red Bull as well.
Yeah.
No, I go hardcore. Monster Sunrise.
Oh, sugar.
That's the orange one. Huh?
No. The Sunrise is sugar free.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's sugar free. It's the orange one, but it's basically imagine Tang, but as an energy drink.
Oh, you might win me over.
Yeah, if you
with
like
some
Tang as a
vodka
kid, it's good. Yeah, no, it's good. I drink it every morning.
Savannah doesn't know what Tang is, so.
So Tang was what poor people drank when they couldn't afford orange juice.
Damn right. More about Four Roses. Four Roses is really unique because they use a lot of different strains of yeast. And I think somebody smarter than me can correct me if they choose, but they have, I want to say, like 11 or 17 different strains of yeast, where all the other distilleries kind of have their strand. And so Four Roses is unique that they have, VOSP, like they have all these different variants, and they're highly coveted, and then they'll taste different depending on how long and where they're stored. So Four Roses is a cool distillery. It's hard to get a hold of a lot of their stuff, though. The price secondary market really starts jumping up, but good stuff nonetheless.
That's awesome. So Casey, you got your car back, buddy.
I did.
It's been gone like 8 months, right?
13 months. Yes.
13 months.
I looked at a picture today. 13 months. Yeah.
Wow. So for the audience that might be newer listeners or whatever, take us down this road of why it went in the shop in the first place, and what you had done, and what your thoughts are, the old car versus the new car, because I'm still boggled. Was your car broken?
It was not. Yeah,
exactly.
So this, okay. I hope to be able to do like a full, perhaps a video or review to where I can get in the weeds if anybody's interested about those details. But I sent the car the car's a 2008 911 C2S. I bought it 5 or 6 years ago with about 20,000 miles on it. So I considered that a brand new car. That's certainly the least mileage vehicle I've ever owned. It was kind of at the bottom of the market. This would have been late 2018, I think. And for 997.1s, that was about the bottom of the barrel. So I feel like I stole it. But having it for a number of years, tracking it, doing a couple rallies with y'all, I, like many people, kind of lust after something maybe a little faster. I love the look. So I was interested in something 997 GT3. The prices of those have gone kind of, for me, I mean, they're expensive. Especially if I wanted to get one that was low mileage. And so I opted to move towards an engine build. So I sent it to Flat 6 Innovations down in Georgia. Jake Raby, the builder, known for air-cooled and the M97 engine builds, from basic, what he would call a stocker, all the way up to his name for it would be called an R40, which is completely custom. So I opted for a completely custom engine. We discussed kind of what I was looking for. I told him kind of the story about I was waffling on, maybe I need to look down the GT3 realm. And he has essentially built me my version, my spec of a GT3 out of the M97 engine platform. So it's, I don't want to go say exact numbers yet because everything's still kind of breaking in and doing all that sort of jazz, but we will discuss that eventually. But it's phenomenal. The engine has currently over 300 foot-pounds of torque from basically 2,500 up to 8,000 RPM, which is a new redline. And as you know, Matt, redline on a standard M9X engine's 7,250, I think, or 7,200. And the thing is just insane all the way up. Like you can hit it anywhere in the RPM band, and it just launches. There's no more like in the standard engine, you get kind of those. It's kind of a up and down ride,
like a torque dip.
Yeah, you kind of have to ride the torque curve. Like 3,500 to 4,500, you're a curve, and then it dips down, and then it'll kind of take back off at 55 plus. And this just doesn't have those same characteristics. It's just a rocket ship. And then once you hit 5,500, it just has it goes again. So you don't really feel
VTEC kicks in, yo.
Yeah, it really does feel like that. It really does. And on the valve change at like 2,800, when the valve timing does change, the sound is incredible. I think I sent you all the dyno video where he goes basically from idle all the way up, and that 3,800 valve changes. It does sound exactly like the old Honda VTEC change.
Wow.
So I'm super excited. It screams. It definitely got the exhaust note right. I went with custom long tubes, an X pipe, and Speed Tech valved mufflers. So you can open or close the valves. Closed, I'll be damn sure, man. It is close to stock quiet, like sewing machine. But open, it rips. Really impressed with the valve work and the sound tuning of the whole exhaust system. Carbon airbox, custom intake, custom cams.
It's beautiful. It really
the whole
is nice.
Thing. Yeah, it's.
We'll put some photos up when Casey's ready. We'll put some photos up on our Instagram. So, on your valved exhaust, do you have just the fob, or did they run it to your home link?
I've got to work with Kevin on that. I imagine Kevin said I can tune it to the home link, so I'm definitely going to do that because the key fob is just a stupid, car door unlock or lock key fob. I don't want that. So I will tune it to the home link as long as Kevin teaches me how to do that.
It can be done.
Yeah. So that'll be super fun. And I tell you what, cold start with the valves open. Oh, it gives you goosebumps. Oh, wow. Like that's just awesome. It barks. It's so fun. And it's again, I get so attached to these sort of things. So getting rid of the car to go find another one would have been kind of a little bit of a hurdle for me. Not only the financial side of it, but just the changing of the appliance. And so going this route, I think ultimately ended up being a better route, and still allows me to tinker with the car to do things like suspension, roll bar, seats. Because if you get a GT3, a lot of that stuff's done for you. It comes that way, and that's why it's a badass car. But I do like to tinker. I do like to turn a wrench, and so I think that this route ultimately is it will be better.
Well, here's what I like about what you did. First of all, I say we won't go into the numbers, but I mean, we know what you paid, and you could have bought a GT3 almost. That being said, here's what you can do that a GT3 owner can't. You start really fucking around with the GT3, and at some point you start diminishing the value of the vehicle. All right. A lot of people buying a used GT3 wants it in a stock form.
Yeah.
Whereas your car, you can do whatever the hell you want to with it, and it doesn't matter. It's your build. You know? I mean, you're not planning on getting rid of it. It's yours.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that certainly did play a factor. But it also, I believe that in the 997 circle, Jake's engines hold weight. They're valuable. People want them, and you're just not able to get them. I fell into a nice situation. I've developed a relationship with him, and I don't want to say I was lucky, because I went through his process. So I don't think I was lucky. I just went through the process, but the end result, super happy with. And I think that's something that when more people hear about it and experience it, that there will be a lot of inquiries about how to go down that same path.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's awesome.
But I'm excited. Say the least. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Listen, the sound clips sounded phenomenal. I can't wait to see it in person. I can't wait to hear it in person. We'll all be at the rally in October, so it's going to be fun time.
We need to get together before that. Just as a side note, we can't wait all the way till October, whenever the fuck we're getting together.
I agree.
But,
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Very good. With cars, I should say. With cars.
Absolutely. Funny story for you guys today. So I know you guys love my stories. So at work, now let me start off by saying that I'm not picking on old people, but my story is going to sound like I'm picking on old people, and I'm not. But again, I've said this before. Don't want to go into a bunch of details, but there's a retail aspect to my job, and sometimes we work with homeowners when they're selecting things for their home, and so. Let me start off by saying that the building I'm in is a beautiful building, but it was built in 1962. Okay. So ADA compliance was a little different in 1962 than it is in 2024. And so my building is technically ADA compliant, but it is like all dock height. It's all raised. So to get in the building, there's steps at the front, or we do have a forklift ramp on the side that most people that have wheelchairs or scooters have no issues going up the ramp. It's not a big deal. I've even let them just drive up into the building, and you drive the car up the ramp in the building, and they're good there. Older couple comes in, they're working with one of my salespeople, and I could just hear the mumbling in the showroom. So I go out there, and the husband, the wife did not want to go up the ramp. She didn't want to have any part of that. Now, first of all, I didn't even know what her ailment was. He could barely walk himself. All right. God bless him. He was probably a shy, or a spry 81, could barely walk himself, obviously had some back issues, whatever. So I said, well, let's do this. If she, he goes, she's adamant. She doesn't want to come in here, whatever, you're not ADA. I said, well, technically I am ADA. I said, here, the building was built in 1961. He goes, oh, okay. So he was kind of cool, and he was making her out to be like totally, hell on wheels. And she wasn't. I spoke to her in the parking lot. She was very nice. So I said, well, let me let your husband go in. We'll walk around with him, find some stuff that you like. I can bring out samples to the parking lot, whatever. Walking around with him in the warehouse.
Let me bring you
and about.
I would have said Home Depot's right down the street.
I know it. Listen, I'm paid what I'm paid because I'm able to deal with these students. So, walking with him, 10 minutes in, he falls in the warehouse. So he falls down. So I got to pick his ass up. And then basically get him back outside. He finds a couple things that he thought she might like. So I go out, I take a sample. No, she doesn't like that. I go back inside, come back out in the parking lot, no sample. So I go back and forth. Mind you, all in all, I'm with these folks for like an hour and a half. All right. So I get him picked up, get him back outside, taking samples back and forth. So, she had this walker, and it was one of those walkers that you can sit in, but it was really tall. It was like a tall walker. I'd never seen one like that. It was like, almost like a 4-wheel drive walker. It was really tall. So come to find out, God bless her. So I guess I don't know if she's got the diabetes or whatever, but she'd had her toes amputated off of both feet like 2 weeks ago. And so she's learning to walk with no toes. So she's sitting in this walker as I'm going out and taking samples, right? Well, then obviously between him and her, they didn't put the walker together well. All right. So it has a Velcro back on it, but obviously they didn't Velcro it. So she goes to lean back, and homegirl just rolls out of the damn thing into the parking lot. So now she's laying in the parking lot like a turtle on her back, and she's like, how am I going to get up? And I said, well, like your husband, I'm going to pick your ass up and put you back in the car. So then I had to pick her ass up and get her back in the car. And then, I think they were more embarrassed than anything else. But the moral to my story is, people, get a fucking scooter. I mean, there's people that you see in scooters that don't need to be in scooters. And then there's people that want, that need a scooter. And for whatever reason, they didn't want them. They both needed the scooters. Get fucking scooters, and then you can just scoot around and go wherever you want. But I'm not making fun of old people.
Did she end up liking something?
She did like some stuff. I don't know if they'll actually buy it or not, but she did like some stuff.
Definitely not.
I probably will never hear from them again.
Oh, you will probably when that attorney gets a letter to your work.
Oh no. So I was talking to my director on the phone this afternoon about some other stuff, and I was telling him about it, and he was laughing, and so they were like, I said, listen, don't worry about it. We got cameras, and so everything on the up and up, and we are legitimately ADA compliant, so I'm not concerned about any of that stuff, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so that was how my Wednesday went.
Whatever your commission rate or the store's commission rate, whatever it is not enough for that shit.
Listen, it's what we do, and it's hit or miss. Some days we work with 2 or 3 clients. Sometimes we have 25 or 30. And our business, we work with a lot of big box stores and everything. So we have a lot of customers coming in and out and hand selecting material. So it's just part of what we do. So
did you have a good day today in the OR, Casey?
Yes, I did. I taught someone how to do a quad tendon ACL. So, I mean, that's pretty good.
Okay, well, there you go.
And Savannah, how was your day?
My boss is a little bit of an asshole, but other than that, it was good.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Hold on, let me take notes.
Love it. Yeah. And again, not only is Savannah Kevin's daughter, but she works for him. So
No, yes. I'm just kidding. It was good. Business is picking up, and we're getting more busy around the shop. So
I just have a
things are going
feeling.
by faster.
I have a feeling that this is what Matt was dealing with right here.
In lighter news, a Tennessee man is getting a new.
Bagels here. Put it in reverse, man.
Oh Lord.
Thankfully, he wasn't hurt when his wheelchair.
Oh, he wasn't hurt. Don't worry. He wasn't hurt.
His wheelchair is stuck. It wouldn't go anywhere. I love it.
How was your day?
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Woke up with a headache, and I still have one. So.
Oh shit, dude, that's not good.
Yep. Yesterday I was drinking a lot of water, and I feel like I got a little kidney pain here. So I've had kidney stones before, and I was drinking water with lots of lemon, and I think no caffeine. That's why today I had like this plus some Red Bulls. I woke up with a migraine headache, and I've had it all day. It's almost gone.
And unfortunately, there's no way to going in a dark room and just going to sleep is about the only thing that gets rid of those for me.
And my day's always great when I work with the people that I work with. I mean, so.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I drink a lot of caffeine, so I can't imagine not having it.
All right, what's next up?
So hey, so we got some new stories. Did you guys see the Tesla cyber? Okay, Tesla fanboys, come after us. You always do.
There we go.
Did you guys see the Cybertruck recall?
Yes.
What is it this week?
So here's the thing. Some brainiac in the factory said, you know what? The pedal covers. You know how the pedal covers go on the accelerator? They said these pedal covers are a pain in the ass to get on. So maybe if we put a bunch of lube in them, they'll be easier to slip on, which they were, and a whole lot easier to slip off and jam the accelerator when you're moving.
Seems about right. Like everything else they do.
Yeah. So you'll be driving along and the damn pedal cover slips off the accelerator and jams the accelerator, and next thing you know, you have a 10,000 pound vehicle.
And what a lot of people don't realize is the way it is if this was the end of the carpet. So what happens is the pedal is so close that when I jam it, it gets stuck just literally like this, because the pedal, when they move, it gets stuck there, and you can actually hit the brake and it will cut it in half. But I love their fix, which
it was great.
You slide it over a plastic piece that has a pilot hole, and you drill a hole through it, and you take this rivet gun, which looks like a cheap Harbor Freight rivet, and you one rivet at the very bottom, which the pedal's black, and you have this nice cheap little rivet that I guess fixes it, which, I know there's a lot of recalls on a lot of cars and stuff, but that's got to be the jankiest.
Right.
I would think that they would take the pedal off and put some adhesive or something. Not that just looks like something that any of us could have done, and it's not from. I don't think Ford, Chevy, BMW, Mercedes, any of those companies would have. Let me go ahead and drill a hole and put a bright aluminum rivet.
No, even like, I mean, this isn't a Ford Focus or an economy vehicle. This is a $80,000 to $100,000 vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how hard is it? If you get that spray adhesive, right, it takes a little while for it to set up. So you could spray a shitload of it in there to make it have high lubricity, throw it on that pedal, and then leave it for 2 hours. And
I mean, for goodness sake, I'm sure SpaceX has some type of glue that they could have used.
One would think.
If nothing else, some Gorilla Glue, put it on. At least it doesn't look like it was. Who knows? They might have did it as an engineering or a liability standpoint where, look, you can see it's actually fixed. But, I mean, hell, even getting some two-part epoxy, I think just would have been a lot better. But,
it would.
Who knows? Then they would have spilled it on the carpet. And I don't know.
Right.
Not a fix that I would have done on a $100,000 car or plus, but I don't own one. So.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. All right. So, first of all, Savannah, you have any input?
Do you have any input on the pedal?
No, I don't. But the Tesla fanboys, you can come for me, and I will say something back.
Hey, those are our highest viewed episodes.
Man, I know. I've read the comments.
She's always looking for a fight. So
I know it. So hey, I found this interesting. We're just going over some of the automotive news. Let me share this real quick. My screen's fixed now. So I have to. So this. Now you guys know how I have an affinity for orange vehicles.
Yeah.
But this is the first time in history that I can think of a sub brand coming out with their own sub brand.
Can you
So I mean, here's what we got. So several years ago, Hyundai created the Genesis sub brand.
Okay.
All right, they had the Hyundai Genesis, which was their more luxury vehicles, and then they really wanted to compete with Mercedes and BMW, so they spun Genesis off as its own brand. And so now you have
which is nothing new. I mean, Lexus,
nothing new.
Toyota does
new.
with Lexus, Infinity.
Correct.
And
exactly.
And as you said, that's supposed to be their luxury brand, right? And
their luxury brand.
Yeah, and those Genesis, I'm not going to lie, a lot of them look really nice.
They're really nice, and they're really nice to drive. I've driven a couple of them, and they're very nice. I love the GV70. The GV70 is basically the Kia Stinger minus 12 inches. It's a little shorter. Twin turbo V6, 300 and actually I think it's close to 400 horsepower. So they're great vehicles. But now what they've decided to do is they really want to compete with AMG. So Kevin, you might know this, but AMG is not their own brand though. AMG it's a sub brand, but it's a performance division of Mercedes. Just like M for BMW. So, but they're not doing a performance division. They're actually touting this as it's going to be its own brand. Maybe they've misquoted it, but so now Genesis wants to compete with AMG, and so they've created their own sub brand called Magma.
So you're not going to be able to go into a Genesis dealer and say, I want the Magma package. It's going to be its own car, essentially, is what you're saying.
Supposedly it's going to be its own car, correct.
Interesting.
And so it'll be based off Genesis models, but then they'll have their own as well. So like these are some of the ones they just launched, and so they have the GV60,
and that's going to be the production because that looks awesome.
They're calling it a concept.
Oh,
but
I knew it.
I will say, Genesis really does. Well, not Genesis. Hyundai's concepts typically come out pretty close to
reality.
The way that things launch. Reality. The one there in the very back, that's the GV80, and that looks just straight up like a regular GV80 that you have now. And then this one here in the middle, they're calling this the X Grand Berlinetta, and it's going to be their sports car.
So if you look at that back picture, go back to it real quick. Yep. From afar, doesn't that look like an Audi?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. It does.
I will say that I love that SUV, especially in that color, in the middle car too. Hopefully they do come out with that in production, the middle cars, and with those wheels and everything.
It's supposed to be their hot division. So here's a couple photos of it. That's the GV80 there.
So tell me more about that car, because that almost to me has Charger-esque
BMW. 3 Series too.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of Mercedes in this as well.
I see
mean,
Mercedes too.
Yeah, I see a lot of Mercedes in that. So this would be, believe the GV80 is their S-Class competitor for Mercedes.
Oh, so
it's
a top end.
It's a big car
competitor then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and these are not expensive. I mean, you walk into a Genesis dealer and you look at a GV80. They're all of, they're like $100,000.
Oh, are they
90,
really?
100
Holy
grand?
shit.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they can get up there in price. Yeah.
So Savannah, would you drive that?
That one, yeah, but I think the Genesis GV70s look like Porsches. Like,
yeah,
the back of them. I remember a couple years ago when it first came out, and someone had one that was murdered out and debadged, and I was like,
I think we're quoting the wrong vehicle here. GV is
the SUVs.
Is the SUV that is from, according to the Google machine, 58 grand.
Okay.
Up to 84.
What's their the sedan, the 80 sedan? Maybe I wrote it down wrong.
Give me the what's the letters?
Well, I had GV. Maybe it's GC.
GV70? Could that be it?
Well, that's their lower sedan.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know these cars well enough to be able to call out the numbers.
And that's a hot car right there.
I wouldn't drive that one.
What? What's wrong with you?
You would not?
No, I would drive the other two before I drove that one.
Fucking weird.
Why?
That one looks like a key fob to a car. Like, you know how Porsche has like the key fob that looks like a Porsche?
Yeah.
That's what that looks like, the key fob.
Okay.
With the little black thing, is that the button, the panic button?
Yeah, I'm just Or like the little thing where you put like a keychain through it. That's what the back black looks like.
I do like the lights on the front, kind of Tron style, with those. They're probably 21-inch wheels or something. That's rubber bands. It's going to ride.
So that was GV60 concept. Let's see if these are labeled. So they have a couple different ones.
The second one looks like that Lamborghini truck. And that.
Oh, the Urus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dude, I think the profiles, at the very least, the profiles look good. I think they've got some aggressive styling. Those wheels are very interesting.
So those wheels look like some of the aftermarket wheels that are on a lot of, I want to say, Supras. Okay. A lot of Supras have those. The new Supra.
I don't even know how to describe them for just podcast listeners, but they're like, what are they, 12-spoke? And then what do you call those holes around
slits around the top? Slits, like almost like a beadlock, but it has the slits around the edge. You see them on a lot of off-road Toyota 4Runners. Black, they're black.
Like the Rhino brand, I think is what they're called on the 4Runners.
You know what it reminds me of? Have you ever seen those rubber skeletonized tires?
Yes.
With the little slits?
Yes.
It's very reminiscent of that.
Yeah, but the wheel rather than the tire.
The wheel rather than the tire itself. Okay, so real quick, going over the sedan line for Genesis. So I'm assuming they're going to these Magmas will be based off of those, just more hotter versions. So we were so instead of being GV, the GV would be for their SUVs. The sedans are just G. So that one would be the G80 would be that sedan. The G90 is their big sedan. So I was wrong. The G90 is their S-Class competitor.
All right, that's a starter at 90K.
Right, starts at 90 grand and goes up from there. So,
and what's the price on this little? I don't know what you would call that, mini SUV.
All of the articles I read on this, because it was just concepts, didn't have a price point yet.
Did they give a time frame when they're going to be released?
They didn't. Well, so yes, I'm sorry. They said that it was the end of 24. The first model is going to be released in Europe. We wouldn't see any Magma models until mid next year. So 25
models.
Yeah,
dude, I think they're hot looking. I think that's smart. I think I don't know if it'll go the way of like the Scion with just the single or couple model variants. But we know Hyundai is putting out a good car.
Well, Hyundai has their own performance line called the N line. And they're really good. Everyone, I haven't driven any of them, but they had the Veloster in, they have the Elantra in, they have the Kona in, and all the videos I've watched of auto journalists driving them say they're hot. I mean,
Yeah,
even
the
the
Veloster had a passing mode. You'd push a button and it basically would turn up the boost.
That's fun.
So it had electronic boost control. You would push it, but it would only do them for certain seconds, so you wouldn't overboost. It was pretty neat. Like I really like this car. Like,
This one reminds me of what's the oh man, it's the Mercedes that I like. It's the AMG. It's the one with the 4-cylinder in it, but it's all the boost is turned up to 11. It doesn't matter.
Somebody who's listening is good at they're saying it right on the
I'm sure. It's basically their version of a hot hatch, only it's just a little lifted, you know.
GLE.
GLE, AMG GLE 45.
Yep.
45. That's
There's a 63 as well.
Yes, there is, and that 63 is fast as shit. Savannah and I were on the freeway, and that thing was. We weren't speeding or anything like that, but it was giving us a run for the money. And we were in a AMG 63S, and it was moving.
Yeah, I think these performance. I'm very curious to see how these performance either designations or these sub brands end up working out. Mercedes, in my opinion, the AMG stuff has really taken a step back since you can get AMG like add-ons rather than having to have the whole package. But the BMW's done that as well with the M series stuff. I don't know, in my opinion, if Porsche's fallen into that as well, but it's kind of the trickle-down effect of these performance line or these high dollar add-ons, and I bet the margin on this stuff is really high, and that's what's prompting it. But it'll be interesting, and the Koreans keep putting out fantastic vehicles, so more power to them, and as long as they're good cars, I mean, let's have more of them.
In my opinion, is since James is not here, I think that as long as they don't do what BMW did with the M series, and I'm sorry, the M period, because you can get a 3 series and put a M steering wheel or M wing or an M. That's
Can you not do that with Mercedes as well, though? Yeah, you can do those AMG add-ons.
Yeah, but I think with the AMG add-on though, you're not getting just the interior. You're getting spoiler, because I've seen stock, and I'm not talking to somebody who just put an M badge, but I've seen stock cars that just have M interior. And then they put an M or the M logo on the caliper. They paint it blue. At one point, I did look at an M6 series for my wife, and actually, I told her to look at an Alpina, but the wheels, she just didn't like the wheels. And
I could get over that for an Alpine for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So
a lot of people do that though. They do these. So you look at Volkswagen. Volkswagen has the Golf R. All right, that's their hottest GTI variant. All right, but then they have the R line, whereas basically it's an appearance package that they put on everything. They put it on the Jetta, they put it on the Golf, they put it on it used to be the CC, whatever their sedan is. So a lot of manufacturers do that. They have, BMW has the M line. I think actually even Hyundai might even have the N line, which is just performance or just appearance packages.
Yeah, and Toyota does it with their TRD and stuff like that.
Yep,
so
exactly. It's all about just more dollars
profit.
in the pocket.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. So I will give kudos. We talked about old people earlier and how I dealt with a couple of them today. So I want to give kudos to this gentleman here from Germany. This guy here is amazing. Kudos to this. So what we're seeing here is unfortunately a wrecked 993 turbo. And so this beautifully wrecked 993 turbo was owned by a spry 81-year-old gentleman who was hooning his car in Germany, and for whatever reason lost control and ended up in the Weisbach River.
It turned out that traction control.
It was wise.
Well, here's the thing. And not only that, this was the first generation of the turbos being all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So this dude had to be really hooning it to freaking go over this damn, lose it and go right into the damn river, But kudos to him for being 81 and actually driving his car.
Yeah,
and not just like tool. He's not getting up on a Sunday morning and just tooling 45 miles an hour down to Cars and Coffee. He was actually hooning his car.
Not successfully, but he was doing it.
Not successfully, no. Not going to say he's the best driver in the world. He might have been at some point in time, but you can't.
It is sad though. Yeah, it is. It is sad to see this happen. I mean, this is, in my opinion, one of the priceless cars out there. I mean, this is what a $300,000 car now, and you can't find them. It's not like you can say I want one and then go out and find them. They're not easy to get. I'm sure it was pristine, and this is sad. This makes me sad.
Well, it's a bad week for silver 911s because there was another story I saw where someone, and I didn't pull the story, but someone wrecked their 992 GT3. Or no, it was a 99. Was it a turbo or a GT3? Anyway, it was silver, and they wrecked it in a river as well. But that was here in the States.
That's what I thought you were talking about earlier.
All right, that car right there, they only made 435 of those cars.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
So now there's 434. I'm sure there's a lot more.
Well, and this guy, he just recently got this. In the article I read, he had a 964, and he sold the 964 and got this 993 turbo. And so yeah, but a bad week for silver 911s.
You better keep that wrap on.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, just put some clear on it. Leave the patina. It's good to go.
Yeah, James certainly would. I don't know how he'd like the roof dents, but he would like the patina.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then here's the easy stuff for this 992 GT3. I mean, this is just tragic here.
Right. Yeah. So it was GT3 RS. GT3 RS.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a stinger to the pocketbook.
Yeah, it's good stuff here. But there's a million of those. Those are easy to get. You can find those. You can't find.
Oh yeah,
993.
There's
relatively speaking, it's probably easier to get a 992 GT3 RS than it is a 993.
I would say that 993 GT3 RS costs less than
992.
I'm sorry, the 992 probably costs less than that car.
Yep,
that the old man ran.
No doubt.
Because they're about
the only difference would be.
Go ahead.
There's not a lot of RSs in the States yet.
Yeah.
As far as the 992.
But I mean, with allocations and ADM, they're about 425. We've had a couple. Right. We know some friends that have not got theirs yet, but it's getting close, and they're about.
Is that one of the cars that's still embargoed? Is it because of the Chinese microchip thing?
No, because there's been a couple of. I've seen 2 of them that have sold at our local dealer, and like that with PTS. They're 425, and yes, people are on the secondary market. People are selling them for $600,000-$700,000.
Wow,
that's insane.
Wow,
I can't even fathom. I mean, it's a phenomenal car. I'd love to drive one. I'd love to own one, but for $600,000, I can think of a dozen other cars I could spend that money on and just have a collection.
Yeah.
There's
something to it, but those old cars. There's some to them, right? Like they did that style, that lack of electronics, that analog feeling just ain't coming back. So,
no, that is the truth, 100%. So the 992, it's so refined, and I keep on. I don't know, Savannah, you rode in it a couple of days ago. What did you think about the 992 compared to the 991.1? Let me put it in your terms. How did you feel riding your dad's old car to your dad's new car?
I got it the first time, and it was fun. You didn't feel like you were driving in a Porsche, and essentially. It's too high spec. You'd hit a pebble or like something in the road in the old one, I call it the white one, and you feel it or you hear it. The other one, you're just like kind of living lavish, listening to music, like an average everyday car that you don't have to get allocated for, that you didn't have to go through all these hurdles for. It just was like driving in a Camry, essentially, but an expensive one.
I don't know. You know, for me, I love I love technology. I really do. And I want all the bells and the whistles and all that kind of stuff in my daily driver. But me personally doesn't necessarily want that in my sports car.
But Matt, we're different drivers because we drive at least some amount for work on a daily basis. I drive a lot for work on a daily basis, and so I want my everyday car to be less involved. But when I sit down in the fun time, when I actually am sitting down to drive, I want all the feedback. I want all the information. I want all the feels, the smells, the sounds. And, you know, that's just harder and harder to get. And I would love to add an air cooled to the stable, and God willing, I will one day. But
I'm there with you.
It's different when it's your everyday car, and you only have one. If you can have a second car, those decisions change. But certainly, if you are driving any sort of distance, I agree. You want all that stuff.
Well, for me, again, I always look at the long term, and Kevin's car is absolutely stunning. I love the 992. I was fortunate enough to see it, you know, up person, and it's just a phenomenal. They're all great. They're wonderful, but I'm always concerned about the long term viability of all the electronics and everything 20 years from now.
Right.
You know, whereas you look at the air cools, and even though, you know, my car's not an air cooled, the 997 generation, you know, there's not a, you know, I can change my radio. Really, other than the radio, the head unit, that's the only electronics in it.
And that's the shitty part about the new car. At least with the 991, that wasn't the brain of everything. So, I mean, with the 992, everything is in there. Your garage opener, your GPS, your AC unit, everything is in that brain. So 20 years from now, what's going to take? I mean, that's going to probably cost so much money to get fixed. And I remember even getting in Savannah's car, when I purchased her car, the guy wanted to sell me on the extended warranty, and she drives a Honda Civic EX, and he was trying to sell me the extended warranty and stuff. And I said, no, it's just a radio. Like, I don't care. But even hers, I mean, she does have knobs and stuff, but all her controls there. And he even said to me, it ain't like you can go to Best Buy and put a new radio in here. When we did last weekend, we were driving though, and she did make a comment to me because we were going pretty fast. And she goes, man, it doesn't even feel like we're going that fast. Now,
yeah,
I don't know if that was the exhaust, and I do have an aftermarket exhaust on mine. But it's just, and I've talked to a couple of owners of the 992 that really get after it, and they've kind of said the same thing. They said, you're not really going to know the potential of the car until you're driving it really hard in the mountains or driving it in the track. And then they keep on telling me, get your ass to the track. Now, that being said, driving and I think Savannah can attest to this, it's so much fun driving that 85 air cooled. Like, just, I mean,
yeah,
banging through
the
gears.
That's what I was going to say earlier was your new blue car, the 992, I guess is what it's called. You don't feel anything. It is cool. It's a looker. It's a badass car, but you get into the air-cooled one and you feel everything, and you're like constantly smiling. But in the 992, I could take a nap because it's quiet. You don't feel it. It is special. It is an awesome car, but there's nothing like rough about it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's what I love about my car.
Driving the PDK in manual mode, which I never really did that too much in the 991, because it shifted so hard. Even if I put it into sport mode, it was still bam, bam, like going. With the 992, I'm always like, I was driving it the whole time in sport mode just to like have some sort of fun. I don't know, but like I said, this 85 Carrera, it's maybe because it's new and it just reminds me of and it is manual. So Savannah, what did you learn how to do?
I learned how to drive manual.
I heard about this. I am so proud of you. Both of my kids, which aren't much younger than you, I've tried to teach them. They have no interest. Maybe, hopefully, at some point they will. So when he told me that you were learning, I was so proud. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, I like it. It's definitely a bit of a struggle getting out of first, but once you get the hang of it, you get the hang of it. And I'll go driving with Ron. He's the one that teaches me in his old, I don't know what it is, but it's a truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Nissan D22 or D21 hard body.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and then we'll go driving for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, and then I get in my Civic, and it is night and day difference, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And granted, driving manual, there's a lot more to do, and you always have to be like spot on and focused because you're driving it. You're manually in charge of everything, and it's not a computer doing it. But I like it because you're involved, and it just feels different, especially if you are someone that likes cars. You can appreciate it more, and it's not like a hassle, essentially.
Correct.
And what do you want to get, Savannah?
manuals.
I want a Civic Type R.
I heard
Of course.
that's a great car. No, but it's a great car, man. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's such a good car.
What I really want, though, like, if I could have all the money in the world, would be like an old Civic Type R, like Integra, yellow. That's specifically
Man,
yellow.
that's such an awful color, yellow. It is not a
Well, my
pretty
dad
yellow.
had yellow when I grew up, and for
Of
whatever
course he
reason,
did.
I remember it. So I want the same thing, copy and paste.
It was very light Bananarama.
It was. It was.
Phoenix yellow.
But I tell you, back in my Miata days, racing on ramps versus Integras and hearing that VTEC, dude, there's something to that, man. Those things, when they change, that's an enticing noise.
And you only have 5 gears, so you're always looking for that 6th gear.
That's right.
So that is really good. And then if you ever driven a Lotus Elise, when it comes in, second cam comes on, it's very similar.
Yeah.
It's nothing. When it comes second cam, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I do. That's one of those. The original Elise is one of those cars that if I win the lottery, I'll certainly have one. I don't know how it would fit into my, daily life. Just having having that as a third car. I don't know how that would work out. But certainly, if I had room for extra, that is definitely be on the list. Short.
Well, and that's one of those cars. Literally, you can go out and buy a Lotus Elise. They've gone up. It used to be $30,000. Now it's about 35.
Yeah.
You can spend $35,000 on an Elise. It doesn't matter what miles are on it. You can drive it.
It's a Toyota engine.
Right.
Yeah.
You can put 30,000 miles on it and sell it 5 or 6 years from now for the same 35 you paid it for. I mean, it's literally
in
money.
case you're looking it up, it's E.
Well, actually, I think I have it.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Is it this Lego set?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a Lotus. You can have this one, Casey. I'll mail it to you. You can put it to your collection.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love it.
I got a green 911 up here that it can go right next to.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Elise.
Next to that stupid Dinos.
I like the Miata. Honestly, I would rock a Miata.
Dude, I think the new ones are looking hot. I was an original OG 9093 modeler.
Pop-up headlights.
Yeah, damn right. Love those things.
The NA Miata.
Yeah, good
And they're
stuff.
fast on the track. They're great cars. I mean, I was talking to somebody and they went on a track day and they told all of the Chargers and Challengers, when the Miata comes, let them pass.
Let them buy.
Because they will outrun you. Yes, you're going to get them, but please let them pass. And they're like, no. And I mean, some of the Miata guys were actually lapping a lot of the Dodge cars.
It happens every single track day. You get some newer folks out there that think they got 600 horsepower and that they're fast. And yeah, sure, you beat them down to turn 1. But then turn 3, 4, you've got a Miata on your ass, flashing their lights, waiting to get by.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the ND, about 3 years ago, they put a power bump in them, and they're fast. I mean,
I think they get up to like 215 or something like that, or close to
something
that.
like that.
Maybe not quite
maybe
that
more than
much. But there was the what do they call them? The speed Mazda speeds.
Mazda Speed.
Yeah, those variants back in the NC model were superb. And a little tune on those, the larger intercooler, they would pump out some horsepower. And had Mazda put that together as like a normal package, I think that thing would have sold to track people and sports car people in such higher numbers than it ever did as the underpowered kind of Japanese, or not Japanese, but the old English style of sports car. that
Yeah,
Exactly.
because I think Miata lost a lot of customers once the Mini Cooper came out with the
supercharger. Yeah.
supercharger, and also then they went with the R56 and they put the turbo in there.
Yeah.
Because that's another great car that a lot of people think. I mean, I had one. All of my employees had one. That car handled almost as good as my Porsche, short wheelbase.
Light.
Actually wasn't that light, believe it or not. It's
Really?
quite heavy. Yes, it's a quite heavy little car. But super fun. The whine of the R53 motor, such a fun car. I've turned a lot of people onto them, but they were always had the nostalgia, or the not nostalgia, but that's a chick car, kind of like the Miata.
Hairdresser car. And the Boxster originally as well, yeah?
Yeah, which I tried to talk Savannah into maybe getting a Boxster, and she said,
dude, you should. Talk about
She's a Honda S2000.
Great transmission. Great transmission. Nostalgia. The cost on the 986s are fantastic right now. As we know, Aaron and his wife Kristen did one.
Yeah.
I think they're hella good deals. And
why don't you like them, Savannah?
I don't like that they're convertible soft top.
Okay.
So we said, okay, Cayman. But
there you go.
That's probably outside of her price range. But I mean, she wants a Type
I
R.
want a slant nose. So that's what I really want. Yeah.
Yeah, slant nose is pretty dope. It's pretty dope. All right, guys. Well, before we shut it down, let's do this real quick for the listening audience. And here we go.
Raise a glass, it's time to unwind. Matt, Kevin, James, and Casey are here to find the finest bourbons, the watches that gleam, and revving engines. It's every car lover's dream. Whiskey, watches, and wheels. Join the journey, the thrill that never steals. From every sip to every tick, it's the podcast that'll make you click.
All right, that's
so bad.
I love AI. AI is great. That's what happens when it's like 2 a.m. and you can't sleep and you're fucking around with AI.
So that's going to be our new intro.
It is not going to be our new intro. No, I was just fucking around with it.
Oh, hey, I thought it was pretty good.
It can't. Well, so full transparency. If I can figure out how to do it, the program I use to do the little reel at the beginning and the end doesn't allow me to upload audio. So it's got tons of different audio to use preset audio, because of the subscription, but it doesn't let you upload audio.
So can it let you upload a file?
No, there's no upload at all other than images. It lets you upload images because you can do your own images in the reel, but it doesn't let you upload any audio.
So our intro, well, I guess we'll talk about it offline.
Yeah, we can do it offline. So again, yes, we can eventually, find a program that we can do that. It's no problem at all. So, all right, guys, for those listening, before I go through everything, just hit us up on Instagram, Whiskey Watches and Wheels on Instagram. Top of Instagram is our link tree. Click on that. It gets you everything, all the podcast info, website info, everything. Just click on that and it'll give you everything you want. So, for those listening, thank you. Guys, got anything else?
No, sir.
Savannah, it was a pleasure having you here. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Catch you guys on the flip-flop.
Later.